Welcome to National Apprenticeship Week. I'm here with a current apprentice that's studying at Hartlepool College of Further Education, so I'll let him introduce himself.
My name's Daniel Millican. I'm 22 and I'm a third-year Mechanical Apprentice at NSK Bearings, Peterlee.
Thanks, Dan. When did you start your apprenticeship?
I started my apprenticeship in September 2018. I just finished my college A-levels, so I was 18 at the time. And for me, it was the apprenticeship rather than the university route.
That's fair enough. When you were successful in getting your apprenticeship, was it just you taken on, or was there a cohort of you?
There were other apprentices. Each intake of apprentices at NSK, at least, that usually take on roughly 3 to 4 people. This differs, obviously, between mechanical as well as electrical, depending on the path that they've chosen or that NSK have chosen for them. Other companies, however, may take on less or more apprentices per year.
Thanks for that. So you started your A-levels. What made you then apply for an apprenticeship on the back of that?
In the background and from a hobby standpoint, I love fixing things. I mess with cars. I make things in the garage. I refurbish all furniture and stuff with my dad. So all of this helped me decide that I'd rather go down the more hands-on approach rather than doing the more academic side of the university. And for me, I'd rather be starting to get some experience in a workplace, and the best way to do so while being educated as well was with the apprenticeship route. Plus, you get paid, which is also a bonus.
That is a big bonus, I must admit. How did you spot, or how did you come to see the vacancy for NSK?
It might be slightly different with me, but I was at college at Durham sixth form, and I was signed up to something called the Engineering Apprenticeship Scheme. This was pretty much, we were able to visit multiple engineering sites that we were interested in. So I visited a wide range of places, aeroplane maintenance hangars at Newcastle Airport, various manufacturing locations, pharmaceutical. And one of them was NSK. And it was just the case where I was at the right place at the right time. And later on, NSK, in the month, NSK actually visited the college that I was studying at and did a presentation. Prior to the visit, I actually had never heard of the company before. But when they showed me what they actually made and what they did here, I was interested, and that's when I knew that I had to apply.
So you had to do your homework on the company as well at that point, yeah? So they've come into your college, NSK, they delivered a presentation, the vacancy's gone live, you've applied. So from applying, what happens there after that?
So after they'd actually visited the college, I knew that a CV and a cover letter would be required to apply. And being at the college that I was at, there was actually a dedicated apprenticeship team who helped and guided with the entire CV making process, the interview process, how to write cover letters, as well as how to write emails to businesses and the wording that you would need to use. It shows how to use LinkedIn profiles and start connecting with businesses and open apprenticeship ventures. So after I'd made my CV and cover letter, I emailed it to the NSK HR team. I knew that I'd sent my CV right at the start, so I wasn't expecting a next stage appointment anytime soon. Eventually, I did hear back, and they were saying thank you for applying, and they'll be in contact later. Obviously, with apprenticeships and the applications, most of the time, hearing no news is actually good news. And with this, it was, because further down the line, I received another email asking that I would be at the next stage, which was the first interview. This was a general, casual interview about why I applied for the apprenticeship, how I found out about it, and what I knew about the company, and also what I could bring to the table. Pretty much the first impressions interview, just getting general information about who I am. It lasted roughly about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and it was important to note that you're on time for the interview, but don't be too early, but never be late. It's also important to dress correctly. A suit is perfect, but a shirt and tie is also absolutely acceptable. After this interview, we were thanked and told to await further contact. Some time passed and I received another email saying that I made it to the next stage. This stage was different. Instead of the interview process, we had a physical test, a skills-based test at Hartlepool College. We had a physical test, which was we had to rewire a plug, and we also had to make a cube out of sheet metal and bolts that we were given instructions for. And from this point, we had to wait, and NSK would have been sent the results from that stage, and they would have taken this and whittled down the number of people to a handful. Alongside the physical test, we had a maths and English test, just to throw that there as well. Finally, after that stage, I waited again and we received a third email. This time it was a tour of the factory, and also a third interview stage. So the tour of the factory is beneficial for anyone who hasn't actually already been around the factory. It's a final show of what the business is. And at this point, there may be people who go around and think this isn't for me, and that's perfectly acceptable. Obviously, for myself, I'd already been around with college, so that wasn't applicable. After the tour, I was taken into a final interview stage. This interview was more serious than the first. There were more interviewers in this one. Specific questions about my previous experience and skills were talked about. It might sound difficult from the outside, but as long as you prepare well in advance, the interviews aren't something you need to worry about. After I finished the final interview, I drove home, and as I actually opened my front door, I received a phone call. And to my surprise, it was actually NSK offering an apprenticeship position, which I obviously accepted. Following on from this, there was actually 4 of us that were chosen and picked out of the cohort, and we were invited to come to the factory and meet everyone else who had made it through the entire process. This is good because we'll most likely be working with each other in the future. We signed our contracts. We were given dates for our first day at college, and the rest is history.
It's a very, very good story. Very thorough as well. So there's a real insight to what it looks like from really applying for that vacancy. So just all of that take all that into consideration. Would you then say you would recommend apprenticeships to others?
I would definitely recommend apprenticeships to others. It's something more hands-on people rather than the university side once they've finished school or college. One thing to say though is that don't look at apprenticeships as a way of getting out of academic study. For example, if you're not wanting to go to university, because myself, I'm on HNC and still doing the likes of maths and science. Some also, in my case, when I was looking for apprenticeships, there were other people who didn't look down on level 3 apprenticeships, but it's kind of going sideways because A levels are level 3 as well. I would say don't let that cloud your judgment, because with apprenticeships, it's better to start from the ground up. And even though it was going sideways, eventually we'll go above that. But with that out of the way, definitely anyone who's looking, who has engineering background or enjoys the hobby, should 100% apply for an apprenticeship. Apprenticeships are an amazing opportunity. They open multiple doors for the future careers, as well as providing a wealth of knowledge and experience that you can take forward.
Great stuff. Thanks for that, Dan. Really appreciate your time. And like as you said there, you're 3 years in now, so you've got a real sort of ground and you know exactly what it's about. So your insight and input is valuable for those who want an apprenticeship. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks.